Good morning, everyone. LJ Young for Life. It is, 9:30, 9:35 in South Carolina. How are you guys this morning? I love talking about financial stuff first thing in the morning. Now, let me first tell you who I am. I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people with anything to do with personal finances, anything. Now, some people don't necessarily want me to dig all the way in their finance. Maybe they just need financial advice on anything. Buying a house, car, what should they do in a particular financial situation? The only difference between my financial advice and, say, a financial advisor, everything I tell you, you'll walk away learning, knowing something that you didn't understand before you met me. And everything I tell you will be justified 100% with using just math, grade school math. That's it. So you'll walk away knowing, like, okay, why did Linnell give me that answer? Oh, because of these numbers. Oh, it equals this. Because if I do it that way, it'll equal that. Okay, well, if I want to lose money, if I want to not lose money, spend more money, I go with plan B. But if I want to save money, I go with Linnell's plan A. All right. One thing I always get asked and see in chat rooms, especially with first-time home buyers, you guys, you get to a certain age and young people believe that this is the age I need to have a house because all my friends around me are purchasing houses, and you always, and when I say you, I'm saying because when I was that age, this is what I heard. I started hearing mortgage is the same as rent. Why throw money away on rent when you can go towards having your own home? You hear this stuff, but you don't really know what that means, okay? And you don't know who to take advice from, take housing advice from. You see a person that somebody at work. Hey, I just purchased a house, and then you like. Sometimes some people at work will, you'll act like, hey, I make more money than them. How they get a house before me? Because it has nothing to do with that. Just because you hear a person say, I just purchased a house, you have no idea what that means. Did they pay cash? What type of mortgage did they get? How much did they put down? What area? What's their percentage rate? Are they paying PMI? Are they paying MIP? You just don't know. But if you don't know how to purchase a house, you don't know to ask those type of questions. And even the person purchasing the house, you don't know how much money they actually have. Do they really have money? Did they borrow it? These are all important questions to know. And here, first, I'm going to tell you the easiest way, and show you the easiest way to figure out if you're ready to purchase a house. All right. Add up all your savings and then add up all your debt, every single penny. Yes, including your student loan. Yes, including the collections that you might not have paid in years, that you're running from, that you're hiding from, whatever, right? Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Now, since 85% of Americans are in debt, it's probably going to be a large negative number, okay? If that number is in the negative, you're not ready for a house. It's that simple. If that number is in the negative, you're not ready for a house. You're in the negative. You have no money for a house. Doesn't matter. So ignore the people that tell you that you're throwing away money on rent and all this stuff. The landlord. If you get a mortgage, you just remove the landlord that and inserted the bank as your landlord. The bank is now your landlord. It's just business. I'm not saying, when I talk anything I say about the bank, I want you to understand that I'm not talking negative, bad about the bank. Those are feelings. The bank is a business. Their business is to make money. Okay, that's it. Their business is to make money. Now, they are your new landlord. That's why you have a mortgage. You get it, you get paid, you transfer that mortgage payment to the bank. Why? Because the bank loaned you the money to purchase that house. And until the bank is paid back all their money, they are the owners of that house that you live in. So don't be like the majority of Americans walking around talking about their homeowners when they're not. Here is an example. If you had a home that you owned and you rented it out, and the person that was renting your home was telling all their friends and family that they purchased that home, they are the homeowner, would you care? As long as they're making the mortgage payments to you on time, would you care what they're telling all their friends and family, that they're the homeowner? You wouldn't care. Who cares? Hey, if somebody walked up to you, hey man, you know your renter's telling everybody they own the home. You'd be like, I don't care. As long as they're making the mortgage payment, don't have nothing to do with me. That's exactly how the bank feels. So this is, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you another easy way. Now, everything I'm telling you can be justified with math. Excuse me, in the morning, man, I just be stuffed up. I'm sorry about that. Everything I'm telling you can be justified with math. Savings. Now, this formula, it sounds so simple, doesn't it? This formula I'm telling you can be applied to anything. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a car. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a purse. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for shoes. It applies to everything. And trust me, it works. How do I know it works? Because it's just math. That's it. Now, here is the easiest way. Now, if you're one of the people that are stuck in the middle with this, you're like you're really like, I really need to be having a house right now because everybody around me is buying one. That's a facade, because you don't know, unless they crack open their financials and their books and their bank statements, you have no idea how that person is in that house. And if they're really a homeowner, only the true homeowner has the deed to that house. Okay? That's the only true homeowner. A person paying a mortgage is not a homeowner. That's math. Now, if you're a person in a house and believe you're a homeowner and starting to get upset at what I'm saying, this is what I'm telling you. Only listen to me mathematically. Math and money are one. They're joined like this. Solid. Math is law when it comes to your money. The only thing that can separate math and money, that can get in there and blow it apart, are feelings. I like to repeat this so people understand what I'm saying. If I came to you and asked, hey, how do you feel about 1 + 1 = 2? Does it make you feel happy, sad, jump for joy? You feel like celebrating? You feel like staying in the bed all day because you're sick and want to throw up at 1 + 1 = 2? Now, I know you're thinking to me, why are you saying that? Now, that has nothing to do with nothing. It's just 2. Exactly. Exactly. And that's how you should always feel about your money. Never let your feelings get in your money, and never let other people's feelings get in your money. And when I say other people's feelings get in your money, say, for example, somebody needs to borrow $50 from you, right? And you don't have it. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have to let somebody else borrow, right? And if yours is in negative, if you took 50 from your account and you're already in the negative and gave it to somebody else, now you're $50 deeper in the negative. See what I'm saying? You really didn't have any money to give them. You just believe you did. And because you feel bad because this person blackety blah, 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 whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. Those are feelings. So if you're a person that say, hey, I can go $50 deeper in debt, say that to yourself. If I give this person $50, I'm going $50 deeper in debt. And if that person doesn't pay me back, I will remain $50 deeper in debt. And by you giving that $50 to that person, you're going $50 deeper in debt plus interest. You see what I'm saying? They keep it for however long they're going to borrow it and then give you the $50 back. You went deeper in debt. You don't even know it deeper than the $50, but that's a whole nother story. Okay. Now, how to determine if the person that you see or know really purchase this house right. You know, if you don't know about how to purchase a house, you don't really know what questions to ask. And here are the questions. And I'm gonna tell you a few. I'm gonna tell you a few questions and tell you why these questions to ask. Okay, that's the best way I can describe it without alerting the person that you're asking this question because they don't know. Now, people that purchase homes blindly without knowing savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life or how much money you have for a house, they live in this box called the debt matrix. Okay. Now, the majority of people that believe in credit and debt and believe they're homeowners with mortgages, they all live in this box. Okay. That they can't do anything without credit. They need a high credit score to purchase anything: cars, houses, clothes, phones, you name it, whatever. They cannot. They believe that they cannot do it without credit. Okay, they live here. Now, most people that purchase homes live in that box because all you got to do is ask. It's really simple. Hey, are you a homeowner? Yeah. Then you go, do you have a mortgage? Yeah. That's all you need. Okay. Don't ask any more questions. If they believe they're a homeowner while having a mortgage, that's really the main question. All you got to do is ask them that. Are you a homeowner? Yes. You have a mortgage? Yeah. Stop right there. They're not a homeowner, but they believe they're a homeowner. That's one of the questions. Okay. Next question. Usually people that finance homes, they love to tell people how much the home costs as if they paid cash for it. Okay. Now you think about it this way. So the proper way to finance a home, you have to have at least 20% or more to put down on a home before to get a mortgage. If you don't have at least 20% cash to purchase that home, you cannot afford that home. If you don't have at least 20% cash to put down on that home, you cannot afford that home. Just think about it. If you don't even have 20% to put down on it, you're not ready. You know what I'm saying? So say like somebody at work or a friend say, hey, I just purchased it. I'm gonna keep it nice round numbers. I just purchased this home for $300,000. Now 20% of $300,000 is $60,000. And all you got to do is ask like this: hey, did you have to put 20% down on the home? Now people that don't know, they'll usually say, oh man, I didn't have to hardly put anything down, 5%. No, I got on this new home buyers program, or I got a VA loan where I could finance 100% of the home, or whatever. All these things that are telling you that they didn't have to put anything down on that home. Now, that's not a good thing. That's a very bad thing. What that means is that they financed the entire thing. Okay? They didn't have any money to put down on that home. That right there should tell you they cannot afford that home. This is just math. Okay? I'm not saying anything fancy. This is math. Or if they say no, they don't own the home, and don't take financial housing buying advice from them. Okay, ever. Now, next question. You ask, do they have PMI or MIP? PMI is private mortgage insurance. MIP is just a different way of saying PMI, mortgage insurance premiums. All they did was what PMI at first, private mortgage insurance, they took the P, moved it to the end of the acronym of the 3 letters, and named it MIP. So now when a person says, do you have private mortgage insurance? People will say, no, no. Some people don't even know, but they'll say, no, I have MIP, not knowing it's the same exact thing. The bank just moved it around. Why did they do that? Because it's their money. It's their contract. They can write anything they want in it. It's their money. You see what I'm saying? So MIP, PMI are fees that, how can I best describe it? For people that will not accept that they cannot afford a home at this time. Because when you manage your money well, or when your finances are in the black, you manage your money well and your finances are in the black, you would never pay PMI or MIP. For what? A house is a thing. That's it. A house is a thing. If you can't afford it and you get into something you can't afford, you're never buying it. You're just giving away money to the bank. It's the same as rent. People look down on rent like you're not getting anything for rent. You have a house, you have a roof, you have a structure. If the washer and dryer go, I mean, if the washer or the not the washer, the refrigerator or the dishwasher go out, I don't know why I couldn't think that. I don't know. You just make a call and say, "Hey, manager, I need a fix." They come in, replace it, and you're done. When you get a house, the bank is your new landlord, but can you call the bank and say, "Hey, the refrigerator's out, the refrigerator is out, the dishwasher's out. Can you come and replace it?" They're gonna just hang up on you and laugh. That's yours now. It's our house, but you got to maintain it. That's it. If you ask a person, "Hey, you have PMI," and they go, "I don't know." If they reply with "I don't know," do you have MIP? I don't know. Don't take house buying advice from them because they don't know. There's only two ways to purchase a home. Okay. The first one is cash. The second one, because most people have to get a mortgage to start their first home. The only way to get a mortgage is if there's one mortgage, the best one on the market when you're ready, the very best one. You walk into the bank, right? And you tell the bank, "Hey, I want to know the best rate mortgage you have to offer in this bank. That's the one I want." The bank is going to turn to you and hand you a list of requirements. This credit score, this much money down, this kind of credit rating, bloggity, blah, blah, blah. Go down the list. And if you go down the list, if there's one or two of those on that list that you don't qualify for, you take that list and you don't come back to the bank until you do meet all those requirements on that list. Until then, you're not ready to purchase a house. Period. That's it. Period. That's all you got to. Don't worry about FHA loans because there's one loan. What I just told you, there's one loan to get, and on the list of requirements, you need to meet those. You need to meet that list of requirements before you purchase a home. Now, the bank understands this is business, baby. This is business. If you don't understand what you need to purchase a house, savings minus debt equals how much money you have to purchase a house. If you don't know that, it's not up to the bank. The bank don't teach people about money. It's the bank is there to make money. So don't get your feelings wrapped up in the bank's doing me bad, because that's the people in the debt matrix. They say things like that. Banks are evil. They're big, bad, and mean. They keep us down. They're always trying to fee us to death. No, they're not. That's not true. I'm on the other side of the fence. I look at the banks in a whole different way. That's not true. That's not true. The banks are like, all you got to use is basic math on your finances, and you'll see what we're doing. It's all a choice. It's all a choice. They're not evil. They're into the business. They're in the business of making money, not teaching people about money. Okay. Sorry, let me get some water. So if you ask somebody, "Hey, what type of loan you got?" If they say, "I don't know," stop listening to them. If they say, "I got a VA loan," stop listening to them. If they got an FHA loan, stop listening to them. If they got a first-time home buyers program, stop listening to them. They're gonna guide you into something that you're gonna just waste all your money and lose. If you hear people refinancing their homes over and over and over again, stop listening to them. They're refinancing their home because they believe it's their money. They believe it's their equity, and they believe they're going to take that money and pay off other stuff without entering any money of their own. That's what they're doing. Don't listen to them. They're going to steer you wrong, and you're going to get into a house, and you think you're going to feel a certain way, believe you're a homeowner. Why am I telling you this? Because I did it. I bought a house, and I didn't have no money. I was broke. And bought a house. The bank knows you're broke. The bank knew I was broke. But again, they're not here to teach me about money. They were here to make money. Period. It's business. All they got to do is look at your credit report and they can clearly see if you're ready or not ready to purchase a house. Now, I know you're looking at me and thinking, why? How? By my credit score? Mm-mm. Credit score. Don't think a credit score tells you or tells anybody that this person has money, they manage money well. A credit score means they're just indicators. If it's a high credit score, it's just an indicator that this person pays back the bank's money on time. That's it. Nothing more than that. A person with a low credit score, hey, that person doesn't pay back the bank's money on time. That's it. That's nothing more. Now, if you go deeper into it, look at all three, add up all their debt. Usually the person with the high credit score, they're usually deep in debt. 300,000, 400,000, have student loans older than their children. The person with the low credit score, since they don't have credit available to them, there are usually people with low credit scores, they're upset that there's not a whole bunch of credit available to them. Okay, and so they strive to get that credit score, not realizing they're probably only $20,000 in debt. The only thing that matters is if your finances are in the red, or in the black. Red is below zero, black is above zero. And usually people with the lower credit scores have that, and they're closer to buying a house than the person with the high credit score. See what I'm saying? If I was a bank, you know who, let me give you another idea of what I'm saying. If I owned a bank, you know who my ideal customers would be? People with high credit scores, good job, high credit score, and student loans that are older than their children. Let me tell you why. Because if they have a student loan that's 10, 15, 20, 30 years old. Now, I know you're thinking, if you're young, you're probably thinking, oh my God, why would in the world would anybody carry a student loan that long? Exactly. But all you got to do is Google this. It's in the trillions, okay? So don't let people's stuff fool you. Don't let their house fool you, car fool you, whatever. They would be my ideal customers, because if they haven't paid off their student loan in years, say like they had $100,000 student loan. If they haven't paid off a $100,000 student loan in 10, 20, 30 years, they're not going to pay off a $300,000 or $400,000 house in 30. That's not going to happen. So if I was the bank that financed their home, I know that I own that home the entire time they are in it. So they can go around telling their family and friends they are the homeowner. I wouldn't care, whatever, as long as you're making my mortgage payments on time. That's it. They're not a homeowner. But the bank is not hiding anything. They're not hiding anything. Look, people think this thick stack of paperwork is hiding all this stuff. They probably are. It's their stuff, whatever. They can put anything in that paperwork they want. It's their money. Put all these. I mean, I remember when I was signing that paperwork, sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here. I had no idea what I was signing. Nothing. I was just waiting to get those keys in my hand, thinking that it was my house. It wasn't my house. Not even close. So if you're in that situation right now and you're stuck between somebody trying to pressure you to buy, oh, you need to buy a house now, especially when other people tell you that, they have no idea about your money. And then other people say, hey, you need to buy a house right now. This is the age. You got to think to yourself, how do they know about my money? They don't. They don't know about your money. They probably don't even know about their money. They just want you to be in the same situation as them without even knowing it. They don't even know. If they had to borrow money, if a person has to borrow money for a down payment on a house, they cannot afford the house because they didn't have the money themselves. See, it's just math. It's just math. It's nothing fancy. Nothing. Just say nothing fancy. No different than going up and buying a cell phone. People are financing cell phones, right? If you don't have $1,000, let's say the phone is $1,000. $1,000 cell phone is crazy. Anyway, $1,000. If you don't have $1,000 cash to buy a phone, you definitely cannot afford a house. It's really that simple. Again, if I was a bank, I'm not looking. Yeah, I'm looking at your credit score to see if you make payments on time. That's just going to help me. Again, if I was the bank, it would determine how much interest rate I'm gonna charge you. Oh, this person doesn't like to pay their debts on time, so I'm gonna charge them a higher interest rate. That's it, nothing more than that. I don't really care about that. And then I'll look at your debt load. Oh, this person's financing a cell phone, and now they're trying to buy a house. Oh yeah, I'm gonna jack you up a little even more. You have to come up with more down payment because I know you're not gonna keep the house, because this is what PMI really is. Okay. Now PMI stands for private mortgage insurance. Now, private mortgage insurance, I forgot that part. That sounds like it's for you because the word insurance, the banks are good, man. It's their money. They can name it whatever they want. It's not insurance for you. It's insurance for the bank. They put that on there because they understand that a person coming in trying to buy a house with no money don't understand that they cannot afford to buy a house. That's why they're charging them PMI. So just in case somewhere down the line they can't make these payments, they made these extra payments for this is for people that get into a house they cannot afford, and then when something happens, they lose a job, divorce, something within the 30 years is going to happen, okay, financially, and they lose a job. And then the first thing they're going to do is stop making payments on the largest one they have, and that's the mortgage payment. And then people in the debt matrix start thinking like this: oh, it's going to take them a year to get me out of the house, blah, blah, blah. They can't do anything. I'll do this to stop it, blah, blah, blah. And they're not going to pay rent. So they're walking around thinking, oh, yeah, I'm still staying in the house for free. No, you're not. That's why they made you pay PMI, to pay for the process to get you out of their house. You paid for all that. You paid for the months you're in it, the lawyer. So what PMI really stands for? Prepaid foreclosure insurance. It should be PFI, prepaid foreclosure insurance. So when you pay PMI all those years, stacking up all this money for the bank, and then you stop, they go, oh, okay, you already paid to kick yourself out of their house. It's their house. You paid for the whole process and don't even know it. The person that don't understand how this works, they think they're living in that house for free. You're not living in that house for free at all. Nobody's living. Ain't nothing free. Nothing is free. The bank's been at this for years, baby, years. Here's a person coming into this not having no knowledge about how all this works. Oh, man, you ain't got a chance, especially from the very beginning. This is why they charge those fees from the very beginning. You don't know that you can't afford a house. You are the only one that don't know you can't afford a house. The bank knows. They just looked at your credit report. This person is in so much debt. They don't even know it. Oh, yeah, we're going to take full advantage of them. It's nothing personal. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a house. Ain't it so simple, doesn't it? It almost angers me that it's so simple. Now, if you're a person that looks at that and has done that with your finances, every single penny, if you believe you'll never pay off your student loans, you're not ready for a house. Because I guarantee you, your student loans aren't even close to a house unless you're a doctor or a lawyer. Other than that, if you can't pay off $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in student loan debt, you're definitely not paying off a house. That's not going to happen. I promise you, it's not going to happen. And the banks know that. You're the only one that needs to know that. This is how you tell the people around you have purchased that house right. If they don't even know they don't have the money for a house and they're in a house, you better not take financial advice from them. You better not. You better not. Because you are going to be in the same situation as them, in something that you believe you own. And you just one paycheck, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you purchase a home and not know how you did it, what type of loan you got, how many payments, the date of the payoff. Oh my goodness. And then you got credit card payments and you got car payments on top of that. Oh, the bank owns you. They own all that stuff. You own nothing. How to tell if that's you today? Look at everything you financed. Understand that that's the banks. Everything that's financed is the banks. What do you have left? What do you have left? That's what you own. So the car you're driving, the house you're in, if it's financed, it's not yours. What do you own around you? Look around you. Pretend like everything you finance is gone. What do you have left? Tell me what you have left. That's for real. It's scary, huh? You know why you couldn't tell? because you believe you own everything you finance. That's the trick. That's the trick. All you have to do is understand what I'm saying and believe what I'm saying. If you believe what I'm saying, you'll be financially free. Get your finances from the red to the black. You can buy anything you want. Now I'm gonna take you to the other side. Once you get out of red, I'm gonna tell you how to purchase a house now. Okay? This is how you do it. Now, there are millions of people that believe they're homeowners while having a mortgage. That's their problem. It's nothing personal. Okay? If they believe it, they believe it. Whatever. You don't care. Now, as a person that lives in the black, these people that believe they're homeowners, out of 30 years, they're telling the bank they're going to make these mortgage payments no matter what happens in their life, job loss, kid dies, divorce, factory closes down, factory moves, closed down, whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Those people will soon find out that they're not because they can't make the mortgage payment. And that's where you come in. You can live anywhere you want. You come and buy a foreclosure. Wait till the next recession. When the next recession hits, it's going to be Christmas time for you. That's Christmas. I know, doesn't it sound horrible? Those are feelings. When you say, oh man, that sounds so bad, taking advantage of people's misfortune, those are feelings. That has nothing to do with math. If those people had done the math before they purchased the home, they would have clearly saw that they couldn't afford the home. It's nothing personal. Nothing. And when the recession hits or something happens, that's where you'll be there. See the foreclosure list, be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna purchase that home with cash. That's simple. And like when the next recession hits, oh man, you guys have no idea how many people that live in the black are waiting for one. They're going to get homes for a quarter of the price, buy them in cash, and then sit on them because nobody's making more land. That's impossible. Nobody can make more land. It's going to come back around. Everybody, the banks are going to change the percentage rate. It's so crystal clear to see what they do. It's so obvious, right? It's so obvious. Once the recession hits, this kind of, God, how can I say it? When it hits, it'll show the banks where everybody's at. You know, people start losing their homes. I mean, they already know where everybody's at, but to get the bigger picture, they can really see where everybody's at because you'll see it. Businesses will close because it doesn't matter if a person's an owner of their own business, they have a job. It really doesn't matter. So don't be fooled by a person that owns their own business too. That means nothing unless you can see their personal finances. That's it. You'll never know, right? But when the recessions hit, you will know because businesses will close, people will lose their homes, cars will be repossessed, all that, right? And then you'll clearly see who's been faking, who's been pretending. Oh man, I lost this home, my job and this, and I lost my job, so I lost everything. That means they were in debt. They didn't own anything. They just look like they own it. And then when you come up with, and you've been living in the black, stacking your cash, you just come in, swoop in, and buy that house for a quarter of the price because it's a thing. That's it. It's just a thing. Nothing more than that. It's a thing. Don't get emotionally attached to things. Everything changes. Anything can happen, and you just buy it next. And then when it comes back around, guess what? You can rent it out. You own it. I know it seems so simple, but everything starts with you. What do? I give people financial advice mathematically. Whether you want to be financially free, whether you want advice on purchasing a car, a house, should you do this with your money? Should you do that with your money? And I'm going to tell you this so you can start with yourself. Before you even come and ask me that question, add up all your debt and add up all your savings, and then go savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Now you're going to see that negative number. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you in a way where how to look at it, okay? Because I went through the same emotional triggers or whatever, right? You'll look at that large negative number and you'll start saying things like, oh man, it's going to take me forever. Oh my God, I can't go on vacation for 5 years. I can't do this for this. There's no other choice. You can't borrow your way out of debt. That's impossible. That doesn't make mathematical sense. So if you go like, oh man, let me get a consolidated loan or something. This, I know they sound attractive, but they're just ways to make more money off of you. It's this business, nothing personal, right? You add that money that you borrowed to do your debt, your consolidated debt thing, plus all the fees that are associated with it. Add up that number and see if that number puts you deeper in the negative. If it puts you deeper in the negative, that's the wrong thing to do. So if you're $100,000 in debt and you get a consolidated loan and you add up all that with all the fees, and now you're $110,000 in debt, that's not the thing to do. You got to look at it and say, wow, I'm deeper in debt if I go that route. Yes, exactly. You're deeper in debt. It's just math. That's the upsetting thing. And I'm not just picking on you. If this is you, I'm not picking on you. I was there. That's the simple thing about it. Savings minus, it's just math. How come I didn't know to apply math to my finance? I don't know. I always keep saying that. I don't know, but I know now it's conditioning. It's the people around you. Everybody, most of the people, 85% of Americans are in debt, and they're kicking out all this debt advice. The previous video I made, this is how I want you to, I'm going to give you some simple questions to ask again, simple questions to ask someone to find out if they're giving you proper financial advice. This is all you got to do. I promise you, it'll work without them knowing why you're asking. Give them a scenario like this. Hey, first, I want you to pull out your calculator and go 80,000 minus 100,000. Okay? Tell me your answer. It should be negative 20,000. That is the only answer in the world. This is math is universal. It works worldwide. Okay? No matter what language you speak, no matter what country you're in, math is math. 80,000 minus 100,000 is negative 20,000. Ask somebody that you know, that you believe, that knows money. Okay? You ask them, hey man, if I had $100,000 and I inherited $80,000, how should I invest that? How should I invest that 80,000? See what their answer is. Now, the only answer should be like this, from somebody that knows math, knows about money, like myself. Oh man, you got negative. That's negative 20,000. You're still in the hole. You can't do anything. You can't invest negative dollars. You're still negative $20,000. You still got to work and pay off that. You got to pay off that remaining $20,000, and then we'll talk about investing. But for right now, you have not a dime to invest. That's the real advice. Okay, a lot of people don't like to hear that. Why they don't like math? Who knows? It doesn't matter if they don't know or do know. Those are feelings. There's no reason to get upset if they don't take your advice. It doesn't matter, right? But if you get somebody that says, hey, take 5,000, put a little bit on the student loan, invest it in the stock market. When you earn interest off of that, take that interest and pay off all that stupid nonsense. That doesn't make any sense. And you got to think to yourself, this person doesn't know math. Or you can even say it and see what the response is to that. Look at them and say, hey, man, how can I do all these investments if I'm still negative $20,000 in the hole? See what their response is. If they respond with anything other than negative $20,000, you better not take financial advice from them, because they're going to put you deeper in the hole talking about all this stuff that probably could happen. You put the whole 80,000 on your student loan, that's guaranteed interest that you're no longer paying anymore. Okay? You're no longer paying interest on $100,000. You're only paying interest on $20,000 that you still owe to the student loan. See what I'm saying? That's guaranteed. When they talk about the stock market and all these numbers and interest rates, that's not guaranteed. Ask them too. When they tell you this kind of funny kind of stuff that sounds fancy and all this other nonsense, you say, is that money guaranteed when I invest in the stock market? They have to tell you no. They have to. But you put $80,000 on a student loan, that's guaranteed that you're no longer paying interest on $100,000. That's guaranteed. That's money in your pocket. That's money loan you're no longer paying to the student loan industry or whatever, whoever holds Sally Mae or whatever, right? That's guaranteed. You got to change your mindset of how you think about money. And it's only fifth grade math. That's the bad part of this this whole economy. Anyway, I'm not gonna get I'm not gonna get when you're living in the black, you can clearly see it all clear as day. All right. So if you're a person right now and you're stuck on the fence of buying a house or not buying a house, don't trap yourself. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a house. If your finances are in the negative, if your student loans are through the roof, you're not ready. And just accept there's nothing wrong with saying that. People that manage money well, they will tell you it's not embarrassing to say you don't have any money. It's not embarrassing. It's not. You say it. People that manage money well respect it more. You buying that car? Why not? I don't have the money. What you mean? People in the debt matrix, what you mean? They start to think like, oh, your credit must be bad. Your job is not good enough. Or they just think of, and they have no idea about your money. When they talk like that, they don't even, when I hear people talk like that, they don't even know about their own money. But they're going to tell you about your money? I don't care. Hey, man, you going to so-and-so's wedding? Why not? I got no money. All right, man, I'll let you borrow some money. I just laugh. No, thank you. I'm going to go into debt with you to go to something that I don't have the money for. I'm not doing that. No. And then they start feeling sad for, oh, man, he must be down on his luck. Don't matter what they think. Don't worry about what other people think when it comes to your money. Those are feelings. Okay? Those are people refinancing their home 3 or 4 times, taking the money, and then going to do these vacations. All that stuff you see on Facebook, they do all that. I know they're smiling, but if they're going to 1 week, if they're paying 2 years on a 1 week vacation, you don't want to take financial advice from them. That makes absolutely no mathematical sense. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either. Don't ever do that. Ever. You'll be stuck. I hope this helped a lot of people. I really do. If you like this video, please share it. If you like my videos, please hit the notification bell every time I upload a video. And if you have any questions that you might want me to ask, anything to do with personal finances, anything, I will show you. You will walk away knowing, even if you don't like the advice, if you don't like my advice, always look at the math and say, is his math right? And if you don't like the math, or if you don't believe it, you got to then ask yourself, how come I don't believe my own math? How come I don't like my own math? Get it? All right, that's it. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. All right, bye-bye.